Fam, welcome back to the CONVO couch. Newspaper guy, Pasta Jardula here.
And I'm Fiorella.
And Oz, of course, is on the ones and twos. Fam, it says over here, where's the good one? Oh, there's so much of the bullshit ones. I think this is the good one right over here. Junior White House aide unleashes bombshells. Bombshells in testimony, fam. Just a crock of BS.
Yeah, I mean, do you expect anything different from your newspapers, Pasta?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But I still want to point it out every chance I can. As they should.
Yeah. I mean, no one reads a newspaper anymore for a reason.
Somebody has to read them if they keep printing them. It's who's reading the newspaper. That's the question.
No, most people don't read them. I mean, I guess it's like old people. No offense.
Do not make fun of me and Oz.
I think you are older than Oz in some.
No, I am.
In some ways. He doesn't go and pull out a newspaper and do the whole shtick. And I know Steve would appreciate me bringing up Fidel reading his newspaper with his big cigar.
Cigar.
Say, it's a cigar. Okay.
All right, fam.
Nobody
Let's just jump into it because Jilly Love is sending love, but we have a guest coming on shortly. Let's just jump right into it.
Okay. Well, guys, I said I was going to talk about this yesterday, and I just want to break down what I have so far coming from the motherland, Moscow. So the Russian Defense Ministry put out that on June 27th in the city of Kremenchuk, which is in the Poltava region, the Russian forces launched this particularly targeted high-precision missile attack at this equipment and hangar armament that had a bunch of weapons given to Ukraine by the West. And it was located at this plant, this machinery plant. And what happened was once that was attacked, there was an explosion that obviously occurred. And after that, the explosion supposedly intercepted with a Ukrainian attempt to stop it. And then there was a mall that wasn't in use until recently nearby, and that mall caught on fire, and it wasn't a functioning mall. However, somehow there is talk that they were pushing, that the Ukrainians were allowing people to go into this area, which they've done before. We've seen it plenty of times with the hospital, the schools, etc. So according to the TASS news agency, this mall, of course, like I said, caught fire after the strike. And Lavrov said, Sergei Lavrov, the Russian Foreign Ministry, said that that's what caused the explosion. He said the strike targeted the hangar that received European and American weapons and ammunition. This ammunition detonation set fire to the nearby empty shopping mall. And so the Russians were defending themselves and saying that that's what happened. But if you look at Western media, and if you look at pretty much any media in the United States, It says Russia attacked a residential mall with lots of people in it. And so 18 people died. I believe that's the number, right?
Mhm.
And obviously, one of the reasons why the Russians wanted to wipe this machinery, this weapons ammunition hangar, was because recently, I think it was a week and a half ago, if that, the Ukrainians launched an attack in the residential areas near Donetsk, and the media didn't say a word. And we did a show on that. We talked about that. And we can go ahead and go to slide 9, Oz, because Zelensky wrote on Telegram that a shopping mall was on fire in Kremenchuk,
Slide
and
9,
said that the fire was caused by a missile strike. And that's all he said. He didn't say the specifics of what I just mentioned. And Russia's first deputy permanent representative to the United States, Dmitry Polyansky, stated that there were a lot of obvious inconsistencies in the situation with the shopping mall in Kremenchuk that looked like the provocation in the Ukrainian town of Bucha, where something similar happened, where they knew that the Russians were going to attack this particular spot, this particular hangar, and they purposely wanted people to be in that location. If you guys recall, well, this is happening again. And so the Russians are maintaining that they didn't go after these people, and that there was all this ammunition. And there are photographs, if you go on Telegram, I didn't get a chance to put them, but that show just the explosion and what happened during that time. Now, the Russians are saying that there was no strike delivered at a shopping mall, that they were just looking at this hangar that with weapons given by Europe and the United States, and that they were going after this plant, and they needed to go after these Western-made weapons because they had said that after the last attack by Ukraine on residential areas, they weren't going to allow them to get away with anything. They were going to get rid of these weapons. And Dmitry Polyansky said, no strike was delivered at the shopping mall. The Russian armed forces hit by high-precision weapons hangars with Western-made weapons and munitions, which were received from the United States and European countries near the Kremenchuk road-building machine plant. These weapons and munitions were stored in the warehouse to be later sent to Ukrainian troops in Donbass to be used to shell dwelling quarters in Donetsk, Luhansk, and other cities. Russia's strike made it possible to prevent that. So this is what he said at the United Nations Security Council meeting. And the United Nations, of course, is still, in spite of all of these, the evidence that they've released, photographs, the witness testimonies, the United Nations is still going to investigate Kiev's claims. And that is what's happening right now. But anything so far, Pasta, to say to that before I finish up?
No, I'm going to let you finish up, but it's just so funny that they're constantly falling over their faces all the time. I mean, they're constantly moonwalking, and it almost makes you think, is how dumb do they think we are that they can just put out these false narratives and not realize it's going to come back and bite them in the ass? At what point do they go, hey, you know, maybe we shouldn't try to pull this off because once again, we're going to look like idiots?
Eventually they do, but immediately a lot of people end up believing it. I had one of my friends who's not really into politics ask me, hey, so why did Russia bomb this mall? Mm-hmm. Because that's all they're seeing in the media.
Right.
Look, Russia just hit this mall, with all these people. And it's like, well, no, first of all, that wasn't even a functioning mall. Why were those people there? They were targeting actually the weapons that the Ukrainians used to specifically target residential areas. Reporting that we have seen from Eva Bartlett, from Patrick Lancaster, from several on-the-ground journalists that are always going into the Ukrainian area, the Donbass area. And so that is obviously debunked in those areas, in those Telegram channels and through our networks. But in the mainstream, that tugs at people's heartstrings, the emotional aspect of it. Oh yeah. My gosh, the Russians just went after a shopping mall. Poor people, they're just shopping, and the Russians just went after them. That's what they're hoping for, and that's what.
Don't you think it has a backfire, fam? Like, I mean, like, remember when we were in Colombia just recently, and Magistrate Luis Guillermo Perez said the fact is, and they talked about this whole situation. Remember, we've been hearing, oh, Petro has been bad-mouthing Maduro. Petro's been bad-mouthing Maduro. But inside that country, they tried to put out there that Petro was getting funded by Maduro. Mm-hmm. And Magistrate Perez even said, the thing is, yeah, once we had to retract it and we had it said, but the lie is already out there. And once the lie gets out there, it sticks. But from what goes through my mind is at what point does it doesn't stick as much as it hurts. Like it seems like it's almost like Mask, right? Does the risk outweigh the reward? That is the question here. And I would say, no, it doesn't.
Well, I mean, I think some people just aren't in our network and they don't get to see, unfortunately, this kind of thing. And I agree with the magistrate. Once the damage is done, a lot of people just out there listen to that. Yeah. And right. So, while this was happening, of course, Stephen King and the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense were having a normal one on Twitter. So Stephen King said, the Russian strikes on Ukrainian civilian targets are basically terrorist attacks. Slava Ukraini. So he's shouting the Banderite fascist Stefan Bandera slogan #1 on Twitter, and that's totally cool. But then the defense of Ukraine, the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, replies, Stephen, Russians are more horrific than any monster in your novels. So now Russians are worse than the It clown, as Pasta said the other day, which they're not. Trust me, I've met them. They're very nice. And
could you see that, fam? Like somebody, some little boy screams, as he sees the clown, and he goes, phew. Wow, it's just you, It. I thought it was Vladimir Putin. Thank God. Whew.
I know. It's yeah. And
Drama
so then
queens.
So I said the Western media ignored when Ukraine purposely hit residential areas in Donetsk and ignores Russia launched a high precision attack to destroy these weapons delivered to Ukraine. And basically what I already said. I said this 2 days ago, I think, almost. And again, they're trying to stop these weapons from being used. These are the weapons the West is giving to Ukraine. And so my whole point is you're only hearing about the Russians targeting residential areas in Ukraine, and you're not hearing about the other side, which we did a video, and I just retweeted it recently. We did a video on when they bombed the residential areas in Ukraine, where there was no weapons or anything to bomb, and there was nothing said by the media. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Yeah, another thing that is being debunked. And by the way, just on that note, things that people don't know, the United States went and met up recently tried to go again to Venezuela to meet up with Nicolas Maduro to try to formulate economic ties, while simultaneously in the media putting out that Juan Guaido is the legitimate president and inviting him to the Summit of the Americas. Nobody really talked about this meeting. It wasn't publicized very much. And they are going quietly to Venezuela. And it just shows a lot of desperation from the West. So they're trying really hard to frame things a certain way.
Yeah. And they're not, I mean, I wouldn't say they're that successful about it. So it's kind of weird. It's interesting. I mean, when you see the fact that the United States government had to go and contact Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela in the middle of this almost in the beginning of this conflict, right? That should tell you a lot. The fact is that they've gotten in way too far over their head when they're going to give Venezuela permission to go sell the oil, or even kind of ask them. We don't even know what it said. They might even say, can you help us out with this situation? We need to supplement your oil because everything's gone a little crazy since we decided to punish Russia. It's backfired a little bit on us. Help us out.
Yeah. The sanctions on Russia or Venezuela have not worked. And that's something the United States are quickly realizing.
Yeah, at all. Should we read a little super raise before our guest comes in?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do that. Oz, we love you. Hope you're doing well over there. Thank you so much for holding it down. We had some nice people jump in before the show even started. Rob McMurtry was one of them. Thank you for the Super Ray contribution, Rob McMurtry. It is always appreciated on the couch. And ladies and gentlemen, you want to go over to Rokfin and sign up if you haven't signed up yet. That's our free speech platform. Are we going to go on YouTube with Naomi, or are we just going to go Rokfin only?
I think she's like...
I say let's go.
You want to go on YouTube?
I'd say so.
Are we going to be able to talk about the things we're going to be able to talk about?
Probably get a strike.
No.
Probably get a strike. Yeah. Oz is saying it's not a good idea. So, guys, now's the time. Chili Love, put the link up in there. That means the last section will be in YouTube, on Rokfin only. We will repost the J6 hearing section in YouTube when we're done with it, but you can watch it live on Rokfin now. Let's put the link up. I mean, it's kind of crazy we have to do this. When you were talking about, like, I haven't put it up in my Telegram yet, I'm like, isn't it fucking nuts that we have to go walk around like walking on eggshells still to this day when it comes to all that bullshit? Let's get the link up there to the Rokfin right now, guys. Let's share it. Let's get it out. Naomi Wolf. That's right. Naomi Wolf will be with us any minute now. She's got an awesome website, dailyclout.io, dailyclout.io. You can go to that website. It's very much her, Steve Kirsch, Dr. McCullough, Jim Zmagusky. These guys put out so much content. You can follow those four people right there, and you will get a ton of information. Just the other day on Bannon, it was Naomi Wolf, Jim Rogusky. They did stuff back to back on the show, so it's very, very interesting. Which reminds me, Oz, you said you have a clip about Naomi, about them going after her, right? I'd like to make. Do you have a little clip of it? It's just okay. I'd like to start off with that first when she gets here, because I would like to ask her, because Naomi's in our corner here. Like, when I mean, like, we traditionally came from the left of sorts, right? So we're the ones like out there now being blasted by the mainstream and all the team sports players because we don't play team sports. So I'm going to ask her how she feels right now, because it was crazy. It was almost surreal seeing her at, defeat the mandates. I'm like, here we are, Naomi. She's like, here we are. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to ask her that first, to see her opinion about how she feels navigating through the water she's been navigating through. I mean, she used to be on CNN on the regular basis, and now they won't even say her name. Zach Boyles, by the way, fam, recent news hint at what could have happened to make Ben Norton widely obsessed with Pfizer's experimental chemical, frequently misidentified as a vaccination, and specifically why he deems that you shut up and take as many doses as you're damn well told. He must have been partying on that Pfizer yacht, fam.
I don't think he was partying with Rodolfo Hernandez. So
no.
But it's crazy to me how most of the quote unquote U.S. left, and he's in Nicaragua, so he's not even a part of it, got it so wrong.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it right now. We're going over to Rokfin only. Yes, Dr. Gold was sentenced to 60 days for trespassing on the Capitol. We know all about it. I'm trying to get a hold of her to get her on the show. It's crazy what they're doing. But joining us right now on the show, friend of the show, she's also one of the hunted by the mainstream media and the government, whatnot. She just had a book release, and I'm going to let her tell you about it. She also runs the website dailyclout.io. It's amazing. Like I said, it's a resource unlike no other. Welcome back to the show, our good friend, Dr. Naomi Wolf. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much. It's very nice to be talking to you again.
It's great to be talking to you too as well. We'll get you up on the screen right here. There you are. How you doing, Dr. Wolf?
Good. How are you? Here, let me adjust my camera a little better.
Yes, we're off of YouTube, please.
All right, guys. So sorry, this was a very short show on YouTube, but go ahead and follow us on Rokfin. If the moderators could please put the link on of the Rokfin link on the YouTube, so we can go talk freely about what we're going to talk about, and then stay for the January 6th bullshit that Posse is going to. It's just God.
Fiorella is so excited to talk about the J6 hearing. She didn't want to do it today. I had to say, come on, fam. But Dr. Wolf, we think it's crazy. Goodbye, YouTubers, by the way. 5, 4, 3. Come over and join us and Dr. Naomi Wolf on Rokfin only. 2, 1. We'll see you there.